Coming up on this edition of Shelby This Week, a controversial cup of joe. Social media is stirring over a coffee shop coming to the township, and now we're hearing from the owner. Find out what he has to say next. And Nick's got a special update on the sinkhole situation in Fraser. Nick?
It's been quiet around the sinkhole in Fraser, but now Shelby Township has a direct connection. Coming up, we'll tell you just what it is.
And stay safe.
It's hard to see, but she's on her phone.
We'll hear from the police on ways to keep yourself from being a target while walking out in parking lots. And also raising money for our four-legged officers. We'll tell you about a local high schooler who's doing good things for our township police. All of these stories and many more right now. Welcome to Shelby This Week. During this first week of spring, we'll start off with the story that stirred a lot of controversy in the township, but mostly on social media. Hotspot Coffee is a shop that features women dressed in provocative outfits. It's rumored to be going in at 22 in Van Dyke, and it's getting some mixed reactions from residents. Steve commented, "I think that if they meet zoning and township ordinances, they should be able to conduct business as they choose. You let your kids watch way worse on TV and video games. Maybe you should also not take your children to the beach or public pools either. Way more important issues in the world you could spend your time on." But Nancy writes, "This is not an appropriate fit for our family-oriented community." And Roger says, "If you have a problem, then don't go." The owners of Hotspot Coffee Company reached out to our Facebook page and said in part, quote, "I was contacted 10 days ago by the planning director of Shelby Township, who politely told me there has been some social media concerns around with regards to my business coming to town. I told him I have studied all the ordinances in place and that if my business would violate any, please email them to me." We've also reached out to the township and they haven't returned our request to meet for an interview. We will continue to cover this story as it unfolds. County officials are continuing to find the most efficient way to repair the sinkhole in Fraser, and now a major piece of the puzzle is coming from Shelby Township. Our Nick Buckler tells us what Shelby Township Company will be heading up the reconstruction.
Experts say it may take upwards of a year to reconstruct the sinkhole in Fraser along 15 Mile Road, and as you can see, it's still a work in progress, but now a Shelby Township-based company will be the ones leading the way. The sinkhole that opened up on Christmas Eve has forced dozens of people to evacuate their homes and has wreaked havoc on the surrounding area. But now a Shelby Township company, Dan's Excavating, has been awarded the bid to reconstruct the collapsed pipeline.
What their safety requirements were and what their safety record was, their insurances, their history of ability to manage a project of this size, all kinds of different factors. And because of all of these things, the 9 people came to a unanimous decision and recommended Dan's Excavating.
The contract is one that will cost $32.7 million and will cost taxpayers around $55 per year over the next 25 years. And as far as when the construction will be finished, the hope is for late 2017.
The project itself is due to be done at the end of September. As I say, Dan's has said that they may be able to get it done a couple of weeks earlier. But then we have to look at the resurfacing of the road. So, you know, you can usually pour asphalt into up to Thanksgiving, hopefully.
The former campaign manager of Anthony Morocco wants the feds to look into the bidding process as he believes there was some form of corruption.
I don't think it's any secret that there's an FBI investigation into pay to play that happened previously in the Public Works Department. And now we are going to be all about transparency and accountability. When I explained about how we did this in an open bid process, that never happened before. They didn't have open bids where the taxpayers could come in and take a look at all the documents.
When we reached out to Dan's Excavating for comment, they refused to provide one. Businesses in the area have been affected tremendously, as most news outlets have reported that 15 Mile Road is completely closed, which is not true at all. All businesses have remained open throughout this process. For Shelby This Week, I'm Nick Buckler.
A trial start date has been set for the 5 men facing drug charges connected to the illegal marijuana dispensary that was being run out of Shelby Township. These men are accused of running the alleged dispensary out of the Advanced Medical Supply on Van Dyke after a police raid in July of 2015. Police reportedly seized 12 pounds and 200 jars of marijuana, 993 edibles, and a large variety of drug paraphernalia, and $10,000 in cash. The men are facing several counts of delivery of marijuana, possession, and conspiracy charges. A jury trial date has been set for May 2nd. Distractions are everywhere, including in the palm of our hands. But what happens when our cell phones make us a target while exiting the grocery store or heading into our favorite department store? Our Stacey Sansatera goes on a ride-along with police to show us firsthand how we could keep ourselves safe.
Parking lots can be daunting places. Besides the typical aggravations like finding a parking spot, getting your car dinged, and dealing with inconsiderate drivers, parking lots are typically the most dangerous areas with the highest rate of theft, accidents, and assaults.
Now this lady walked out and she never looked, in either direction.
Pedestrians can make themselves easy targets in parking lots, and usually they don't even realize it.
Somebody who doesn't seem to be aware of their surroundings, somebody whose attention is distracted.
And as we all know, there are many distractions these days, which can make us all vulnerable.
Criminals will often look for a person that they would believe be an easy target, somebody who isn't paying attention to what's going on around them. Someone who might be buried in their phone.
Be aware and have a plan. When you get to your vehicle, look inside the vehicle before entering. If someone approaches your car, do not open the door or roll down the window. And when you get in your vehicle, lock the doors and start the engine immediately.
So if you look like you have a purpose and you look like you're ready and you're looking around, they will look for someone who is not paying attention.
In addition, there are other things to consider when in a parking lot.
Our parents teach us when we're really young to look both ways before we cross the street. Same thing goes when you're in parking lots. First and foremost is safety, and that could be just so that you don't get hit by another car, because sometimes people drive crazy through parking lots.
Did you know that 1 out of every 5 accidents takes place in a parking lot, and 14% of all claims of auto damage involve parking lot collisions? Always be alert, and remember, in a parking lot environment, technology may not be your friend.
We have gone away from paying attention, and now we're buried into our mobile devices.
Most importantly, trust your instinct. You can never be too careful. For Shelby This Week, I'm Stacey Sansatera.
Macomb County has an illiteracy rate of 13%. 13% of our population is reading at a 4th grade level or even lower than that. But the Macomb Literacy Partners is working to solve those problems. The program recruits and pairs volunteer tutors with adults who need help learning to read and write. And even though this can be a challenge for people to come forward, in the end, this program helps adults get a better job, help their children in their education, read medical instructions, and even get their GEDs.
When they do come out of the shadows and they do ask for help, we make sure that they understand that the program is confidential. Their boss, even their spouses, if they choose that they don't want their spouse to know that they're getting help for their reading and writing, we offer completely confidential services for them.
And while the program is also looking for people to help, they're always looking for volunteer tutors.
When you help someone learn to read, you're helping their children. So that they can help their children with homework. You're helping them in health-wise. Most people who are illiterate don't take very good care of their health because they can't read food labels. So you're really helping a family kind of claw their way out of low-income situations.
Tutors meet with their students in the libraries all over the county. If you're interested in volunteering or becoming a student at the Macomb Literacy Partners, you can go to the website www.macombhliteracy.org, or you can call this number on your screen, 586-286-2750. It's a long-time 4th of July fixture in Macomb County, but now it's moving. The Stars and Stripes Festival spent 6 years in Mount Clemens and then moved to Freedom Hill in 2013. But Palace Sports and Entertainment, which manages Freedom Hill, which is now called the Michigan Lottery Amphitheater, decided not to renew the contract. So now it's moving to the Suburban Collection Showcase on Grand River Avenue in Novi. It's one of the state's largest summer festivals, attracting more than 1.5 million people. It's also raised more than $500,000 for local charities. This year's festival will be June 29th through July 2nd and will include things like fireworks, a family fun zone, a carnival, and a monster truck car crush. A local high school senior took a school programs challenge and decided to benefit our local police department. As a business club initiative for Henry Ford High School, Elise Halores had to sell something and donate the funds to a good cause.
It was through DECA, which is a business club at Henry Ford, and I started by committing to the Learn Earn chapter, which is where you sell something and then you donate it towards a good cause. So I chose to donate all the funds to Shelby Township Police Department's K-9 unit, Nico Morpheus.
DECA is a conference focused on connecting students with corporate professionals and to engage them in learning industry-related trends. With the money she raised, she gave our police K-9 unit a bunch of things like cold packs, oxygen masks, first aid kits, and dog bowls. And thanks to all of her hard work at the DECA State Conference, Elise won a medal for her charitable work. Congratulations to her. Next on Shelby this week, an old favorite is getting a new name. We'll tell you how the Packard Grill is getting a makeover on the outside and the inside. And healthy fats. Yes, there is such a thing. How you can incorporate fats into your diet and why they're important to your body. Next.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Imagine the action and see nearly a century of Michigan aviation heritage at the Selfridge Military Air Museum. Enjoy a walk around the air park and bring your cameras for a most authentic military aviation history experience. We're open to the public April through October on weekends, Memorial Day, and Independence Day from 12 noon to 4:30 p.m. Group tours for adults and kids of all ages can be arranged, so call us today at 586-239-6768 or 586-239-5035.
A restaurant that's been located on Van Dyke for decades is getting a makeover. You may have noticed the Packard Grill sign is down and a new one has just gone up. The restaurant and bar is changing to Tap and Barrel. With the new renovation, there will be new additions, like a full range of beers, a new menu, and much more. Management says there will still be entertainment and lots of fun, and they hope the renovations will let them reopen by the end of next month. We'll be talking with the managers in the coming weeks to get you an inside look at the changes being made, so stay tuned. And a new restaurant in the township is looking for employees. Olga's Kitchen came to the township last month, but now they're looking to hire people. They've had all positions available, even cooks who are encouraged to apply. The brand new restaurant promises starting pay at $12 an hour with flexible scheduling and opportunities for advancement. So if you're interested in applying to Olga's Kitchen, head to their Olga's Kitchen Facebook page. The Shelby Township location is located at 23 Mile and Hayes. As the summer gets closer and closer, a lot of people are trying to get a little more in shape for swimsuit season. And we learned if you're going to start dieting, there are some fats, yes, fats, that you'll need to incorporate into your diet as well. We're here at Vince & Joe's, and today we're going to be talking about fats. And first things first, the one thing I'm noticing on this table, there's no chocolate or ice cream.
No.
Where is it?
No, there's no chocolate or ice cream. When we're talking about fats, Kelly, one of the things that we really want to talk about are natural fats, okay? And as you see, what we got on the table is we have some olive oil, we have some coconut oil, we have some undefined as well. Also, we have some avocados, some almonds, and some peanuts. Obviously, no salt on these. But these are some good natural fats to actually tap into. And natural fats have several different types of benefits inside the body. They're great for our endocrine or hormonal system. They have positive effects on our neurological function, inflammation of the joints. They also do a great job as far as keeping cardiovascular health at bay. So there's so many good positive effects to actual natural fats and when we incorporate them in the diet. And when people hear the term fats, they generally want to try to stick away from it. But these are the good fats.
So, and with any of these types of things, you know, these healthy fats, I'm not big on almonds. I've heard that you can kind of roast them in the oven and put some seasoning on them.
Absolutely.
Do you recommend doing any type of moderations to these kind of things?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, look, when you're dieting, you don't have to suffer. And it's actually a good thing to kind of go outside the element and experiment around with the little things as far as putting some seasoning on, whether it's chicken, whether it's carbohydrates, whether it's fats. That's actually a good thing. Dieting, you don't have to suffer, and I always say that. So, yeah, for a sense, you don't have to eat just things just raw like this. Go ahead and season things up. Obviously, you want to use things in moderation if you're using any type of salts. But if you're going to go to a salt, obviously use something like a sea salt or something like that.
Right.
And there's many other different herbs and spices out there that actually have a good health benefit to you that you could use as well.
And we want to continue helping those getting ready for summer or anyone who just wants to get fit. In the coming weeks, we'll be at Top Gun Fitness Facility to get fitness and exercise tips from the professionals. Just a week after International Women's Day, Habitat for Humanity celebrated women all while fundraising to build new homes. The first Home Sweet Home Women's Luncheon was held at Shelby Gardens. Not only was it a great opportunity for more than 100 women to meet and network, it was also to support the Macomb Habitat for Humanity organization. County Prosecutor Eric Smith sponsored the event, and from his office, his assistant prosecutor spoke about how she spends her days being an advocate for women and children inside the courtroom.
You know, it's very fulfilling to be able to, fight for innocent people, the defenseless, and it's something that we as prosecutors cherish very deeply.
And if you remember, a few months back in October, we interviewed Carol and her daughter. That was when they closed on their Clinton Township Habitat home. She took time to speak at the event, and we're excited to say she even sits on the board of directors for Habitat for Humanity, showing just how much this organization makes a difference.
This is not a charity, it's a helping hand. Carol worked hard and she sacrificed time and sweat, equity, and organizations like Habitat for Humanity are a reminder to everybody that the only time we should look down on someone is when we are helping each other up.
The organization hopes to raise enough money to build a few new homes this summer and get some families in them by Christmas time. And don't forget, the Restore is coming to Shelby Township. The Mount Clemens Restore closed, and now the new store is opening up in a vacant shopping center on Van Dyke, south of 21 Mile Road. They're moving here because it's more of an industrial area with a heavy retail environment. There you can buy things like furniture, dishes, doors, plumbing, and lighting. And the store takes donations as well. Things sold from the Restore go to the nonprofit organization to build those Habitat homes. The Restore will be open this spring. An annual event that's still drawing crowds was a big success for the Lions Club. The annual Knockout Blindness boxing event was held earlier this month. Those who went got dinner, drinks, cigars, and ringside seats watching sanctioned fights by amateur boxers. And 100% of the proceeds went to the Shelby Township Lions Club in their efforts to raise money for Leader Dogs for the Blind. Summer road trips are coming up, and MDOT wants you to be prepared. The Michigan Department of Transportation has released their 2017 state construction map. And this is Michigan, so it will come in handy. This map will be posted in all rest areas and welcome centers across the state. But it's also available to download online. This is not only to help you, but to also remind you where those construction zones are so you can slow down and drive safe while in them. For this map to download, head to our Shelby TV Facebook page. Still ahead on Shelby this week, March is Reading Month. And a local elementary school is celebrating with a celebrity reader that was quite the home run with students. And batters up. Jimmy John's Field is getting prepped and ready for its second season. You'll hear from the operations director about the changes coming to the United Shores Professional Baseball League.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids
you.
how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
We'd like to take a moment and talk about severe weather and tips that can keep you safe. Thunder and lightning storms happen all the time. Do you know what to do to keep your family safe? Be aware, if you hear thunder, you are within distance of being struck by lightning. If you're outside, look for shelter inside a large building, home, or in a hardtop vehicle, and remember to stay away from windows. If lightning does strike your home, dial 911 immediately and move to a safer place, such as a neighbor's home. During a lightning storm, there is no safe place outside. Do not seek shelter under a pavilion, as this type of structure does not provide enough safety for you. Never stand under a tree during a lightning storm. As there is many technical reasons for this, just remember a tree can and will be used as a lightning rod. If somebody is struck by lightning, call 911 immediately.
March is National Reading Month, and schools around the country are celebrating. The Utica Unicorns mascot, Lancelot, came to Wiley Elementary School to read to a 3rd and 4th grade class.
We have all baseball fans in here, right?
Yeah.
But since he doesn't really talk, he acted out the story that's all about baseball, and the United Shore Professional Baseball League Executive Director of Operations, Brian Berryman, read the book out loud. And these students really know how important reading is.
I think reading is important because it gets you to understand like the language and grammar and stuff. It helps you understand how to talk to people too.
Because I like learning new words, and because I usually ask my parents what they mean, and then they're just really interesting. You learn new words, and some books help you with life. Pleasant, I like that word. Because you can learn and you can talk, or you can do something creative about it, like draw. When you can picture it and you can see what's going on when you don't have picture books. It teaches you lessons about life. When you read, you learn.
And when asked what their favorite books are, they had some really great answers.
I think my favorite book to read is all the Dr. Seuss books. Some books are really fun. I like funny books, and Dork Diaries. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Harry Potter. Harry Potter is my favorite series.
The first one is my best. I like the whole story.
And after all the reading was over, the students joined Lancelot in a little song.
1, 2, 3, stretch your heavenly old ball game. There you go.
And while we were there, Berryman talked with us about how the league is getting ready for their second season at Jimmy John's Field. And when it comes to preparing, the league knows there's always room for improvement.
If you just stay still and say, oh yeah, last year was great, then you're bound, you're not going to be successful. So we really have to be, aggressive in our planning and making sure that we do things right and do things better.
One of those things they want to do is making the players more known to the fans. They've already sent 12 players to Major League Baseball affiliated teams. People like Aaron Bossy, who's now playing for a team affiliated with the New York Yankees, and Ross Vance, who we talked to last year as he was getting ready to pitch for the St. Louis Cardinals. The league's goal is to make sure these players are more accessible when they're here, so you get to know them when they move on to the pros.
We want to make sure that the time that you wouldn't see a dead time in the game because there was always something going on. We really want to make sure that we're crisp and we're moving quickly and everything's done so the fans are engaged, they get to know the players better, they get to find out who they are. That's one of the things that we really want to focus on, is to really get the fan engagement, and that's going to be done through a variety of different things, such as
a lot more player appearances, you know, stories on the players, where they came from, why they're here, what they're looking for, so you can, you know, follow these players and get to know who they are and really understand their dream of playing professional baseball.
And this year, all the crew at Jimmy John's Field says they're ready for opening day, and you can expect the same fun from the first season.
It's just a great community place with a great product on the field.
Opening day for the United Shore Professional Baseball League is May 11th. Before we go, the crew here at Shelby this week have a little announcement. Our news program just won 2 awards in the 30th Annual Telly Awards. The Silver Telly Council is comprised of top industry professionals who judge more than 13,000 entries from ad agencies, companies, and TV stations around the world. It's quite the achievement to be selected, and we are very honored to have won a silver and a bronze Telly Award for having one of the best newscasts. Our team is sending a huge thank you to everyone who's been a part of Shelby this week. From those who we've interviewed, to those who have let us come out to their events, and everyone we've worked with in the township and the county, thank you for contributing to our success. And a big, big thank you to the viewer. We appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for always watching and supporting us. That's it for us here at Shelby this week. You can watch us all the time on shelbytv.org. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. We'll leave you now with more scenes from the Knockout Blindness boxing event. Thanks for watching.